¿Qué onda la gente? ¿Cómo les va? Bueno, aquí continuaremos con Disco Elysium. Este, como dije ayer, el juego está muy interesante. La presentación está buena en cuanto, bueno, la historia que por ahora se va planteando. ¿Cómo estás, Fable? Llegaste justo a tiempo. Eh, Dios, este menú lo sigo adorando. Demasiado. Lo dije ayer, pero lo voy a volver a repetir. Yo adoro esta clase de música ambiental que es tan, este, digamos, atmosférica, ¿no? Como que te pone mucho en el mood, ¿no? Y es como que quiero hospedarme ahí sentado escuchándola nomás, sin hacer mucho. Eran 2 horas y media de stream simplemente de un menú del juego, ¿viste? No sé por qué no carga el fucking coso de disco. Ah, ahí carga. Bien. Pero bueno, lamentablemente no puedo quedarme en el menú por 2 horas. Así que vamos a continuar jugando. Siendo el detective más pelotudo de la historia. Ok, veamos. Siquiera me contó el progreso de esta zona. Más o menos. 2 minutos. 40 minutos todavía le queda a este. Ok. Más dos de autoridad contra hombre. Esto me parece increíble. Pero bueno, propiamente dicho, ¿qué objetivos me quedaban? Recibir información sobre tu arma, hazte con una cinta que contenga un tema tristón, continúa buscando a la persona que denunció el crimen, incluso si no dispones de pistas sólidas. Encontrarla podría llevar un tiempo. Encuentra la placa. Capaz que está en mi habitación, tendré que volver ahí. Habla con Garte de parte de Sylvie, eso lo puedo hacer ahora. Tengo que conseguir guita, sí, en teoría. Examina el cuerpo de la víctima. Haz las paces con Kuno. Tengo que comprarle el libro de Hamdal. Y busca la entidad mía. Tengo que seguir con volver a la otra mierda. Ok. Vamos a caminar por ahí. ¿Qué haga? Más revistas. Jump Jams, una revista de música popular. Una revista lustrosa, los hombres más capaces. Tengo que contiene un top 10. Ok. Bueno, todos están mucho más macizos que tú. ¿Con qué me curo?
Welcome to
Cami...
Rivachol.
Cominero racista. ¿Por qué específicamente era racista? ¿Por qué te dije de mi comida de esa manera? Yo conozco a Borracho, ese sitio donde estamos.
Don't you welcome to Rivachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago.
Ah, ok.
Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. It's men like you who keep Rivachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Limbo, ¿qué está pasando aquí?
Oh, come on, man. I just said, welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself
What? ¿Por qué estás
and
interpretando tanto para
behave.
boludo?
But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
O sea, bien, pero posta, ¿por qué?
Silence. The air between them becomes tense.
Voy a dar un comentario, pero...
Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Ahí llevas. ¿Qué te cubro las espaldas? Darle al diente un puñetazo de colega en el... Bueno, creo que todos hemos aprendido en la lección. Seguir el caminero. Ahora que ya nos hemos aclarado todo, queremos hacer un par de preguntas. Yeah.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
Ah, sos un pelotudo.
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Ahora los tilda de gays, hijo de puta. Ok.
Whatever you say, officers.
Oh. ¿Por qué los ¿Por qué el...? Ah, ¿de qué ibas a discusión? ¿Qué transportas? No, ¿de qué ibas a discusión?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races.
Clasificación de las razas.
Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
Oh, mi instinto. Lo entiendo, alguien tiene que hacer de malo. Ah, que no eres más que un vulgar racista, lógico. A decir verdad, no recuerdo exactamente lo que eso significa. Explícame, por favor. Explícamelo, soy estúpido.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Vale, ¿a qué más le has estado dando vueltas en la cabeza? Si resulta evidente que eres el máximo exponente del diseño superior. Bueno, he llegado a una conclusión. ¿Quieres subirla a continuar con la conversación? Vamos a continuar con la conversación.
Oh?
Creo que podría cogerle el gustillo a esto del racismo. Mira, no me trago esta mierda. ¿Por qué no te vas a tomar por culo? Tengo la oportunidad de hacer lo más cómico del mundo.
Good. If we, the evening people, pull together, we can form a bulwark against these troubled times. Root out the forces that seek to undermine the well-being of our people.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense he can't be happy about this turn of events.
What am I? What
Oh no, not too happy.
Okay. Uy, Dios. Pensé que iba a ser ¿Qué transporta?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
¿Cuánto tiempo llevas así?
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so.
¿Qué tipo de mercancía de
Apples.
recoger? ¿Manzanas?
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
Apples and oranges, I guess. Se hace el boludo este.
Inexplicable feminist agenda.
O en serio logré conseguir esto después de que hablé
There
con el
is something
racista.
you need to see, sir. We found the remnants of an ancient artifact lodged in your hypothalamus. It
What
is
is
a cylindrical object, piss-weathered and smelling of liquor. The paint is peeling off, but you can clearly make out the letters Revolutionary Feminist Agenda on the hull. It appears that some time ago, before you became a joke, you were an actual feminist. Somehow, you've come to that conclusion. Perhaps you can work your way back.
Vale.
Hello, compatriot. You have something to discuss? It's about not the...
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
No entiendo, alguien tiene que ser de malo.
I'm not the only one. Look, I've read books. The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it.
¿De qué habla este hombre?
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority. They stop competing for resources.
What are they saying? Sí, ¿qué problema hay?
The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
¿Qué es eso de cultura, victoria cultural?
It's what the kids of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Okay,
Go right ahead. You may be a cop, but that won't help you avoid the calamity to come.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is stern. Not a lot of moral fiber on this one yet, he thinks. Wriggled out of it. What happened? Did your balls shrivel up? You had plenty of chances to get off this road, but no. You let this guy keep talking. Then, when the time came to make your choice, you tried to split the difference. Weak.
It's about not...
Change the topic.
Que no
The
eres
way
más que un
he
vulgar
says
racista,
it
loco.
makes it...
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books, huh? The science of racial theory
sí,
as
sí,
all.
lo mismo.
People who've studied these things
Sí, resulta
say
evidente
that
que es
you,
demasiado
me,
demasiado
open
superior.
your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe, huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their... This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kits are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruders species too. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if... Good. If...
Lieutenant Kits... Oh no. Not two.
¿Qué quiere mi querido amigo? A ver.
When you said before that you were down with racism, was it meant in earnest? Or were you just trying to win his confidence?
No, sí, para que no me se
Well, now you've done it. Let's see if you can talk your way out of this one.
Solo intentaba transmitir que entendía sus reivindicaciones y que no lo jugaba por tenerlas. Relájate, estaba practicando la consagrada técnica de la mentira. Oh, tengo la chance de seguir haciendo algo más cómico del mundo, haciendo que este tipo sea racista. No soy racista. Pero es que sería muy divertido. En el juego. No, sí, estoy jugando con él.
I suppose that's a relief. Just be careful how often you avail yourself of this technique. A lie may be useful in the short term, but I have a way of catching up with you later. And one more thing. As you've seen, these sorts of attitudes are quite common in Martinez, so I expect this to happen again and again. I've had this conversation enough times in my life. From now on, I'm going to stay out of it. How you choose to respond is your business, but be careful. Now let's...
Lo que vos digas. ¿Qué es esto? A ver. ¿Es la tienda? Es una canción de pop melancólica. ¿Oh? ¿Podrías decirme esa canción?
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
¿Qué servicio al cliente es este? Antes de meternos en materia, ¿qué es este Frit?
I don't know. Frit?
Muy bien. ¿Y qué es Frit?
A 7 to 11 grocery store.
¿Por qué está escrito con tres?
I think they think that the extra T makes it funkier.
Funky.
It doesn't.
Parece la voz de una tipa que yo conozco en YouTube. Tengo algunas que
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
Boludo, esta tipa suena igual que Rin Penrose. Y previo a eso, previo a ser VTuber, creo que esta tipa hizo voces, por ejemplo, la voz de Saber en los videos de Miravo Studios. Te juro que suena idéntica la voz. O sea, si es así, good on her. Se supone que no debería estar de palique con nadie, pero... ¿Vendéis amoníaco?
She looks up from her magazine, eyes filled with tired ennui.
Yes, what we have is there, in the medicine cabinet. Go take a look yourself.
¿Qué puedes contarme sobre el fiambre?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
¿Conocías al hombre que había asesinado?
Not really.
¿Cómo que pues no? ¿Significa que lo conocías un poquito?
No. I didn't know him at all.
¿Sabes cuánto tiempo lleva
I
ahí?
don't know, really long.
¿Qué crees que pasa?
I don't know.
Pobre estúpida, no sabe nada.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Ya sé por qué.
Uh-huh.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10
10
cents.
centavos por botella, pero qué mierda.
Oh, that's the tear machine.
¿Pero para qué sirve?
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
¿Y cómo recoge la basura para la
You need a
recicladora?
bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all
No
out,
tenés una
so...
puta bolsa, en serio.
Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there. Somewhere. Oh, that's the tear machine.
¿Qué hay acá? Tulpas y rosas amarillas, docenas de ambas. Qué lindo.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
¿Qué es eso, señorita
What
impermeable?
is what? It's a raincoat. If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Qué interesante, ¿eh?
A small
Sorry,
cabinet
listen,
on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
¿Quién es Saint Baptiste?
St. Baptiste, you know, the pharmaceuticals company. St. Baptiste Pharmaceuticals, the one that sells meds out of St. Baptiste. That one. There. I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Duramine is a really good painkiller. Magnesium is a dietary supplement. Hypnogamma is... I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising.
¿No podría ser un poco más específico?
No. Sorry. I'm not like a doctor or anything.
Nosafed heals +1 health. Duramine heals +3 health. Magnesium heals +1 morale. Hypnogamma heals +3 morale.
Ok, eso es bueno saberlo. Gracias, tutorial.
A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain, the great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
Alcohol de amor al cigarrillo lo llamo. Ok. Estoy en el cielo, quiero todo, morir yo antes sin decir nada. No es que sea mejor tipo un dicho adicto en rehabilitación. Estoy en el cielo, quiero todo.
Sure. If you want something, I can get it for you. Just let me know and pay and stuff. But I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Me gustaría saber más sobre ese caso.
The pale age vodka is special, I guess. It's stored in pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong.
¿Qué es el palo?
You know.
Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Let's concentrate on what's important here.
¿Qué clase de efecto provocaría en mi cuerpo consumir este tipo de cosas?
I mean, I already said it'd hurt you. I don't know what else they do.
Substances give powerful bonuses to your main stats at the cost of damage to your health or morale. Cigarettes raise your intellect while damaging your health. Alcohol raises physique while damaging your morale. Use medication, like Nosafed and magnesium, to counteract the negative effects of substances. Note: consuming substances can have unforeseen consequences for you.
Interesante.
No, Frick only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
Le estaba pidiendo droga al chabón. Vale, no tienes nada que me sirva. Bueno, no tengo dinero para poder comprar nada que me sirva. ¿Qué es toda esta gente? Oh, monedas. Fíjate que estoy yo como una crowbar en la mano.
Scab?
What did he just call you? Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
No me dijo marico. ¿Qué son esquiroles acá?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
¿What? Una especie de gusano que se contenta con la mera supervivencia. Llega a pretender hacer nuestro trabajo a cambio de un salario de mierda, nos pagan tanto. ¿Qué palabra de mierda? ¿Qué es esquirol? Dios, ¿dónde han salido?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
No parece que te caigan demasiado.
Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
A título personal, preferiría mendigar antes que ser esquirol. Si estos caballeros tan gritones se pusieran a mendigar, tal vez yo hubiera conseguido algo. ¿Has intentado hablar con
We'd
ellos?
explain the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
No entiendo, este tipo se queja de que hay gente pidiendo trabajo, ¿en serio? ¿Pero qué clase de estúpidos son? Soy policía.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
Los policías en plena huelga, entonces llega otro policía y dice, me dejaron de hacer policía. O sea, suponete que son gente que pide trabajar por menos dinero con tal de trabajar. I mean, están necesitados de trabajo.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
Ando un poco corto de dinero, ¿puedo darme algo?
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
Sí,
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
se agradece.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment due to... You know, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing, though.
¿No se las arreglas que pide el sindicato?
Nothing to worry about, really. The jam's a bit of a mess, cargo can't get in or out. The rationing is a bit stricter is all. Supplies should last the strike, though.
El dinero llama al dinero.
Aye, you lost me there, Honcho. But it's okay as long as you're not a sorry-ass scab.
He venido a Martínez para investigar el
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Complicado, casi imposible, no entiendo por qué no lo voy a hacer. No tengo ni idea de lo que estoy haciendo.
That's okay. I have no idea what I'm doing either. I don't even know what day it is. Don't tell me. It's a better day that way.
Y no saber qué hay detrás de las puertas, estoy explorando.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits.
Eso quiere decir que me debo hacer capaz.
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
Qué crack, ni le da bola, yo puedo caminar lo más.
Beneath the jolliness, he suddenly seems doubtful.
Así de fácil, entro y ya está.
I walk right past Measurehead and go in.
¿Measurehead? ¿Cranométrico?
Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there.
Ah.
Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
Sí, fácil. Vale, entendido, pero tengo que hacer... por alguna razón no parece que vaya a ser tan fácil.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
A propósito, ¿a qué se debe la huelga?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Gracias por la charla, pero tengo que ir. Toma.
Hobo cop. Technically, you wouldn't be a cop anymore, but a hobo. That would mean game over for the cop chapter of your adventures. But who knows where the hobo part takes you? To the bar? The old L'Assommoir? To the pier or the sewers? To Le Royan, where for 300 years they interred the dead. You could plunder royalist crypts for long-forgotten triple malt bourbon. Then fight the Aramakan beast that lurks the bottommost sepulchres. The secrets of the city are all yours at last.
Okay.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me. What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
Merely standing up makes you sweat profusely. Your breathing is erratic. Your own heartbeat in your ears grows frantic, and you feel your blood pressure rise.
Stop it! You are embarrassing yourself in front of this woman and your pedomorphic friend.
¿Pedomórfico? ¿Qué es pedomórfico?
This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a stronger maternal instinct, but it is a liability here on Battlefield Martinez.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
Mi grupo carece de importancia, soy policía y tenemos que entrar al puerto.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to
to succumb to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Show him the ham still got it.
Yo creo que los blandengues todavía tenemos nuestra chispa. Ese policía tiene que obedecerme ahora, sacando un poco más. Todo esto está muy bien, pero estos rayos de las tareas no son importantes. Les pido que me ayuden a hacer mi trabajo, por favor. En serio voy a... Quiero pelearle con este tipo, en serio. Yo creo que los médicos deben tener nuestra chispa.
Willingly calling yourself a ham sandwich, how far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right?
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Tengo conversaciones diciendo que tengo que hacer unos 20 centímetros. Apartarlo. Te doy toda la razón, pero tengo que entrar en el puerto. Apartarlo.
That is right. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Simonine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
This is your chance. He's talking. Rip into him with a punch and catch him off guard. No, don't rip into anyone. You're sensitive. Remember? Communicate.
Oh. ¿Qué se fue que se... Oh, yo me hubiera gustado pelear, pero claro, son dos. Me pasa por elegir la parte sensible, Fable. Tendría que haber seguido con mi instinto y ir por el matón. Yo no sobre todo las piñas en un juego. Tú acá estas órdenes del sindicato, ¿no? ¿Acaso no son blancos? ¿Qué se supone que significa esto? Normal de apoyar tu teoría hacia avanzar. Justillo glacial. Apoyar tu teoría racial avanzada. ¿Qué se supone que significa?
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Qué hermético, soy un recién nacido en este mundo. Ayúdame a comprender tu raza. Tengo que saberlo. ¿Cuántos tipos de razas hay?
Do you?
Ay, Dios. Susurra. Es para lo que ya sabes la cosa.
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you. He lets out an audible sigh.
Todo parte del plan. Soy un tipo inteligente.
You are obviously a liberal, Sailite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? I knew you would go straight for the vile cauldron. Everyone does. You need to first learn about Type A and B to appreciate the depravity of the chimeric races.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, it just won't make any sense.
Yes, it would seem nonsensical.
Those are the Simones, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun. The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Who's letting bro cook?
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have Type A race propensity. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Simones and the Areopagite are on the ascent. The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Simones inhabit the southern islands. I am Simonese, from the stock of Ulubrir on Ile de Fantôme. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Simones are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Maran to Ansuland, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun retinoxid. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simones are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more Type A races in the world.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vacholiers, they are mud-colored people. To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct muddy color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking alcohol and smoking the degenerate tobacco and for eating potato.
Eating potato.
The Koiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with potat. The only thing they like more is divided into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba. The Vacholians, halfway between type A and the racial cauldron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
82.000 años de historia del planeta. ¿Pero qué están flasheando? Los humanos son más viejos que eso.
Chips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Seminese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Seminese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetics. The Koiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Seminese with the Koiko to produce a super worker of Seminese strength and Grad servility. This will never happen. The Seminese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Seminese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koiko woman or Koika.
There is a strange sadness in his tone, a less than heroic melancholy this time.
Parece un poco caído respecto al cranométrico.
The heart that pumps the hemoglobin is mysterious, and so is its dark will. Enough of these personal matters. Have you been educated to all the rasotype now?
He does not seem angry, nor does the woman look affected. She just twirls her hair. Perhaps they've been through this and established an accord.
Ahora que hemos repasado los tipos, entiendo ya la teoría de avanzada.
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. We will see.
Access to the Union is important for our investigation, but there may be another way in, without becoming a race theoretician.
Am I mildly worried he might take it seriously, the lieutenant thinks? Yes, I am, he concludes. I am worried.
Yo le hubiera pegado una piña, me cago en ser emocionalmente inteligente. ¿Cómo lo requisas sobre el misterio?
You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tipere Vasholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? Oh, don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
Okay.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Sí, pero aún así le sirve. ¿Cómo influye?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital, something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Mi orgullo está en la cuarta cosilla misteriosa.
Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs?
De la música disco, de hecho. Así que soy una estrella rock and roll y un rebelde. Lo encontré jugando a espectáculos. La música disco, de hecho.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
¿Para qué me permite preguntar vueltas sobre los Seminoles y ya recién me estuvo hablando todo el chabón con toda una biblia sobre eso? Fantástico, pero tengo que entrar al puerto, asuntos policiales.
What you need is to come to terms with extinction and never getting into this harbor.
¿Qué se supone que significa entonces?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid of my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
¿Estás seguro de que no soy cronométricamente superior a ti?
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation. It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Hul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi.
Así que uno de mis ancestros era de Sur-la-Clé y otro de Vesper.
Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of alcohol. That is the only reason you are here.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one. There always is.
Race is reality. There is nothing funk. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have.
Voy a guardar de vuelta y me voy a dar una piña.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Puedo pegarle. ¡Me salió! ¡No lo puedo creer!
Just like that.
¿En serio me salió?
Took over. A solid strike straight into his throat, into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break.
Genial, después de que diga toda esta mierda, le di una piña y me
The
salió.
man is reeling, gasping for air. Time stands still around you. In the distance, the sounds of the harbor are falling silent. All you hear is a small gurgling sound as a trickle of blood appears on the man's lip. He's open. Rip into him. Right hook. Escalated. Get intimate with him. Bring the hurt closer.
Prepárate para efectuar la pelota que destrozar con gancho de derecha. Prepárate para efectuar una patada que de 360 grados. Ojalá. Patada giratoria de 360 grados.
The man lands with a dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left is the button.
¡Disco Inferno! Presiona el botón.
As you slam your fist on the button, the man collapses entirely, his head rolling to the side.
Después de toda la verga que el chabón se la pasó diciendo de superioridad racial y toda esa poronga, va y logro tener éxito con el fucking dado. 17% de chance de éxito tenía. Y lo derroté de hecho, pija.
Looks like you're the new measurehead now.
Qué crack.
Her voice is surprisingly calm.
No one is the new measurehead. Let's go before he gets up.
The man is still knocked out.
Está noqueado. Le recabe, boludo. Caga. Oye, la parte se puede poner cada trabajador miembro de la junta. No me quieren escribir modelo, digo, el nombre figura en la parte posterior. Se alejó la máquina que fue encendida. El juego líquido de taza que se parece sintiente. Un batiburrillo de razas fantásticas se remolían en tu mente. Pigmeos del desierto jugueteando con sus propias heces. Koshkos haciendo malabares con patatas y mouse. Más extrema que individuos, sonriendo y bailando con surcos de madera. Están todos, toda la pandilla completa, más algunas razas que probablemente te hayas inventado. Los subkips, ladronzuelos y la casa de los seolitas afortunados, quienes surgen de algún tipo de plan. Frente a semejante emporio racial, como un vértigo que se eleva hasta el cielo, comienzan a sentir algo. Algo que se acerca más y más. Conclusión. No puedo. Ventajas temporales de la investigación menos una teatralidad, engañado por el absurdo. Investigación avanzada. Mm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tengo 9 espacios más, pero hay una banda de cosas acá. Nah, no voy a tomar la parte especial. Ya le di una piña. Se lo merece. ¿Listo? Una foto, una postal. Otra postal. ¿Qué hay acá? ¿Capa de drogas? Lentes. Nice. Nice.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change.
¿Para qué quiero usar esto? Un reloj de pichar y teléfono de pago. Nada. Ah, ¿de escaleras? Oh shit, no quería hacer eso. Ah, mira, había otro camino. Ahora mis acciones son zumbidos. Es un buen archivo de los tutoriales con encerrados con llave.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders. Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry. Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing.
Si desenfoco mis ojos, las formas empiezan a comer las unas con las otras. ¿Podría concentrarme no concentrándome?
You're a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
Si desenfoco completamente mis ojos, las formas empiezan a comer las unas con las otras.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there?
¿Es el método que está empleando con esa carpeta? Sí.
Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
Vamos de vuelta.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out and the note itself is crumpled.
Mira, Kim, una lista de tareas que hacer para Everard.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood? Remember, Leo, Everard's shoe. All items on the list have been crossed out and the note itself is crumpled. The drawer slides shut smoothly.
Vamos a llamar entonces, 10 centavos total.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic. The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
Desafiante, dejar que tu memoria muscular marque un número al azar.
It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air.
¿Patrones útiles?
Undoubtedly, no. Sure, why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. Nothing tricky about that. You just do, fail, repeat, until it works. All it takes is...
Oh, pedí el pedo entonces, le doy moneda. No importa, son 10 centavos. ¿Qué haga?
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. There is a white rectangle clearly visible on its back. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Teniente, creo que es mío.
Yes, it does bear the RCM insignia, and we are the only detectives in Martinez.
¿Debería recogerla?
The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, yes I do.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. That's what the cloak is relaying.
Give it to me.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Risa. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism, they represent a society in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it. Because Risa was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal a la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going a la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents.
Ahora me doy cuenta que no tengo nada abajo, no tengo camisa. Estoy literalmente sin camisa, boludo, qué crack. Está recogiendo agua de lluvia. Vale, no tengo una bolsa. No tengo una bolsa, boludo. No puedo agarrarme nada de todo esto. Hay un montón de botellas acá y no puedo agarrar nada. Lo vienen dispersos son los pinos blancos, por eso es que le va. No te puedo conseguir una fucking bolsa, boludo. Todas las botellas que hay. Paquete de cigarrillos. ¿Qué hay acá adentro? Dame una bolsa, por favor.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather. You need to rest. Your body is aching. Getting in here has taken something out of you. Have a seat.
¿Quién puede buscar un ya empieza un de la
If you must.
adentro?
But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young, dark-skinned, and dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. The girl is smiling playfully at the camera. The young man looks happy as well. He's about to smile. Right after this moment, frozen in time. You're sure of that.
Why did you take that?
Quiero hacer un fotomontaje artístico, Kim.
Of course you are. What murder investigation would be complete without an arbitrary photo collage?
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The inside of the booth is immaculate. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date. Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, many strokes, prophet's disease, sudden death, hair death, erectile malfunction, critical flatulence, watery blood, black mucus, uncontrollable weeping, increased sensitivity to la opera, inoperable joint disorder, total spinal collapse. Maybe this was a bad idea. You take the painkillers. They are yours now. You stand and exit the booth.
Yes? Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
Tienes razón, que tendría interesante un capota patético.
Binocular? Is that how they do things over at the 41st? No wonder your clearance rate is so low. Excuse me?
¿Qué pasa si quiero trabajar en casa por mi cuenta? ¿Qué pasa si quiero trabajar en casa por mi cuenta? Nada, solo era una observación.
You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial observation. In the 57th, we call it the Jamrock Shuffle. Officers from Jamrock's 41st precinct tend to move a bit erratically. They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough. Prioritizes containers.
Estás de coño, ¿por qué los contenedores? Esto es racismo, yo me problema los contenedores.
I'm sure you don't. It's just a stupid interdepartmental thing. I'm making assumptions. We should move on.
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his oeuvre. He regrets bringing it up.
Háblame del caso.
What do you want to know?
Literalmente cualquier cosa, no soy capaz de recordar nada. Dirías que este caso es misterioso. ¿Por qué trabajamos juntos y
Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a
No
bit.
sé nada, literalmente, solo sé lo que me contaste antes.
Do you want me to brief you?
No, ya improvisé.
There's no reason to wing anything. If you didn't get the brief, that's okay. I did. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city. That's right.
Tarea secreta completada. Pídele a Kevin que te ponga al día con el caso. Vamos a ver la reparación informal preliminar. Diría que ese es misterioso. Eso.
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
His disdain is clear. This man would not use such an expression otherwise.
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. That's good. Better still than an imbecile cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim.
Okay.
On the surface, he's dismissive, but there's a conspiratorial glint in his black eyes. If only you knew what he would say.
The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here. And now it's come to its natural conclusion. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest, with 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition.
So, he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary.
Yes, I'm an unrepentant spoilsport. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange doesn't exist.
A tremble comes over you. Another after effect of ethanol poisoning, perhaps. Feels like leaves do when they rustle in the breeze, somewhere far away, below the turbine. The 41st and the 57th. The lieutenant was right. It's not about who gets what's north. It's about who doesn't.
Me pregunto qué dice esto sobre mí en la versión enviada por la comisaría. Mi mejor para tener lección de estilo. No hay otra conclusión. Soy el mejor. Una máquina que resuelve casos enviada para superarte en todos los aspectos imaginables. Debo ser un augurio, un presagio apocalíptico enviado por mi pueblo. Puedes enviar mi mensaje. No te asustes, pero creo que podría tener habilidades paranormales. Seguramente tengo una increíble cantidad de bajas. Voy a dejar sin especificar por qué me enviaron. Ah, eso, cago de risa cualquiera de esas opciones, boludo. Debo ser un augurio, un presagio apocalíptico enviado por mi pueblo. ¿Puedes ayudar mi mensaje?
No.
Habrá una sangría de proporciones imaginables, inconcebible.
Oh no, it's very imaginable. We fail to place responsibility for the hanging. The harbor company see the situation is out of control, so they bring in private military, maybe a gunship. The Union responds in strength. Automatic fire. Local law enforcement solving one little homicide decides nothing. Not solving it can have real and calculable effects. Things can always get worse. Matter of fact, augury, we should move. Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
He's actually glad it's addressed now.
Machista, yo soy Silvia. Lógica, ¿por qué me dio el 41?
Because you're the best qualified. No, that doesn't seem right.
No, eso tendría lógica, estoy altamente cualificado.
If you're so well qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? Anyway, don't keep the lieutenant waiting.
Creo que debería saber que no soy capaz de recordar.
No response. He just arches his brow.
No que tengo que volver a repetirlo, pero debería que no recuerdo con una gran cantidad de culpa y de la culpa.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
Qué malo.
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
Pero ni siquiera tengo la información más básica de la organización en la que pertenecemos. ¿Puedes ayudarme? ¿En qué debería concentrarme? ¿Qué de malo es asunto personal?
Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
Ajá. ¿En qué debería concentrarme?
Try work. The case at hand. It can work miracles.
Me tengo que estar en una situación médica.
Really? You look fine to me.
Ganó un logro, ok. Estamos hablando de daños graves, una destrucción inconcebible.
This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
No es psicológico, me he provocado algún tipo de daño severo importante, es una escala sin precedentes.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again? 3 days ago, the RCM... During that time, the victim had been... Okay then. Was there anything else? No. It's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
Se me acaba de pasar por la cabeza que a lo mejor algo de otro mundo podría estar involucrado, ya sea algo paranormal. Como el verano 40 y tantos que necesitas. Personalmente creo que los disputas laborales son algo muy misterioso. Vale, así que posiblemente el caso no sea misterioso, pero... ¡y sexy!
There was some interest in this case at my station, but not for the reasons you have in mind. You seem to wish there was
Quizás haya una joven involucrada. ¿Estás seguro que no deberíamos pensar ninguna perspectiva sexual?
Good point. Martinez is famed for its occult sex murder rites. We'll get on it immediately.
Hola, en serio son megas que sí. No tiene por qué ser una secta. Puede que solo se trate de asesinos sexuales. No tiene que por qué ser un asesinato. Puede ser solo sexo. Es un mex.
No, not really.
He's basically challenging you to sex it up with some lurid twist. Don't get right into it. Sit on it a bit. Then hit him with it.
Ay, por todo lo que
Good.
Mundo interior, degenera, convencer a quien de que hay un giro oscuro y sexy en el caso. A ver, capaz que lo puedo volver a hacer para...
Yes?
What if you did it?
¿Y si fuiste tú? ¿Y yo fui el que lo he ahorcado?
Yes, you killed him. And then As part of the plan, you drowned out the memory. Maybe this is why your chest feels so hollow. You did an awful thing, and you can't even bring yourself to acknowledge it. Are you sure you would have the strength to take down a hardened mercenary? You're not in the best shape.
Creo que yo podría ser el asesino. Lo maté y después me engañé a mí mismo por evitarlo.
And what has led you to this conclusion?
Siento un vacío en el pecho, como si hubiera hecho algo horrible. Soy una mala persona, creo que podría haber hecho cualquier cosa. Soy una mala persona. No, la primera. Siento un vacío en el pecho, como si hubiera hecho algo
That is a common side effect of overindulgence. It will pass.
¿Estás diciendo que yo no lo maté?
I find that highly unlikely. It's not unusual for detectives to feel complicit in a crime until the perpetrator is apprehended, especially when the investigation is dragging. So let's get back to it, shall we?
Oh. ¿Qué hay acá abajo? ¿Este no es el coso? Wait, ¿qué hay acá? ¿Botón?
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. A rusting with a loud grind. The crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Ok, estoy bajando un container. Uh-oh.
And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container. Who can say? All you know is, it's special.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
The crane does not return to its original position. It does not move at all.
Ok. ¿Qué tenemos acá arriba? A ver. Plata, nice. No puedo entrar.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Este container es
You
importante.
do? Because I don't.
¿Por qué
There
no?
are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
Estaba superior de la grúa. Siento que es especial. Puede que haya contrabando. Inspeccionar el container. Yes.
There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
Llamar a la puerta.
No reply.
Abre la puerta.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanical. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Convencer a la puerta de que se abra. Oh my god. Voy a guardar.
You're back before the cargo container. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Porque recuerdo, lo físico nunca fue una opción.
Because what wasn't an option?
Usar más fuerza que maña.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective.
Oh.
You can do that after hours.
Voy a intentarlo al menos más adelante. Vale, me sirve. ¿Qué hay acá? Matafuego. No se ofende. Nice. Bien, me he curado. La máquina duerme, sí. Muy buen dato. Moneditas. Thank you. Ya me voy a detener en el trabajo que al terminar. Vale. Vamos acá. Huele a sangre, ay Dios. ¿Cuánto es fan seguro? Sí. ¿Para qué se ve eso? Bueno. Tenemos también. ¿Será algo del café quemado? ¿Un cafecito? Vamos a leer. No, para. Vení. La pudiste se hunde bajo el peso de la lluvia y la alegría de eso. ¿Qué quiere ese tipo? A ver.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on. Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
Hey.
Everard, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no apparent reason.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
¿Pero qué pasa con los esquirones? Pues sí, lo soy. ¿Qué pasa
I
con los
mean,
esquirones?
I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
¿Qué hace con los containers? ¿Dónde se metió todo el mundo? Eso está diciendo. ¿Trabajas aquí? ¿Eres el tal Leo que escribió una nota pidiendo más cubiertas? ¿Qué hay en ese container de ahí? Se lee la Busco al jefe del sindicato. ¿Qué hay en el container de ahí?
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Told you.
¿Qué hace con los containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
¿Qué es todo eso? Mira las containers pero está atrás.
Everything is so pretty in red. You and Leo look like brothers as you glance around with similar childlike wonder.
¿Qué tal, Carlos? Puede ser, pero ese es para el España y no quiero escuchar en español de España, la verdad. Me gusta jugarlo, me gusta en inglés más que en español. Por eso, aunque sea lo tengo en el texto en español. El ojo es mucho más bonito que ese verde tan anodino.
Sure is, mister.
De por sí
Sure
ya tengo que
is.
estoy sufriendo con
Really
algunas palabras en
livens
español
up
muy
the
español de
place.
España.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Y bueno, comprensible y respetable. Gracias, Carlitos.
I had to break this bonding moment, but the red containers mean they are replacing the company livery with the union livery, which means this strike isn't gonna stop anytime soon.
¿Dónde se metió todo el mundo? Esto es cierto.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
2 meses sin
So
trabajar.
no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is.
No, yo estuve en la
And
oficina y
John
no había
Luke is
nadie.
guarding the gate.
Ah, ya lo que
But
estaba
Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
¿En qué clase de pelea se metieron ese tal Tito y sus amigos?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
Pero quiere hablar, es un chusma qué grande.
Him and his boys stirred up something in town. probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
¿Qué es lo que hicieron exactamente?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Muy bruscos. Leo, ¿en qué clase de pelea se metieron? ¿Mataron a un mercenario? Venga, Leo, cuéntalo de esa pelea que te diste.
I remember I was the runt of the class. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day. Flew off the handle like nobody's business. But Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat old Noel Becker so bad he needed stitches on his head. Noel never started another fight with anyone after that. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everett. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with everyone around here.
No te mueras, Leo.
You're never getting anything useful out of him. It's good enough you found out Everard has a brother called Edgar, and he helped Leo.
¿Es el que escribió una nota pidiendo más cubiertas?
Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht.
¿Qué has dicho el borscht?
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadam's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dog fighters. Alcohol, however.
¿Qué quiere decir con llevando esta sopa a los hombres? ¿Por la huelga?
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
¿Quién del Will la hace? Parece que el orgullo de llanto de Andrés, lo investigaré. Sí.
Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here, and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
¿Quién es este Beaufort? Parece que se puede hacer trabajo por aquí. Sí, apuesto que este lugar se desmoronaría si no le brillantaran los zapatos al jefe Leo. Oh, yo estoy con la forma que es mi personaje, yo tendría que usar la 3, pero quiero saber sobre la señorita.
Oh, Lizzie. She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years she has.
Sí, he puesto que este lugar se desmoronaría si no le brillantaran los zapatos. Es medio malo, parece que se puede hacer un gran trabajo por aquí.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Marginise what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Patience. Deep down you have the mental power to keep listening. Not many would, but you do.
Had an arithmetics teacher, Miss Bellows. Her real name was Miss Bellams. She was a real pretty lady, but when she got mad, all the boys liked her, if you know what I mean, mister. We used to sneak in her yard in the dark and peek through the window. Yeah. One time we saw Miss Bellows with a fellow. Yes, we did, mister.
Espera una mujer teniendo sexo. No decir nada.
Them was naked too. That's all I got to say about that.
Qué interesante, gracias por contarme.
Thank you. Almost forgot. Mr. Everett is in that container over there. I got distracted telling the story, but he's in there.
Bueno, gracias. Bueno, me voy.
Bye bye now.
¿Cuál es container? ¿El de la izquierda? Ah, su izquierda, claro, está bien. Jefe de estar urgente, todavía conserva la temperatura. Pará, vamos a ver acá. He subido un puntito. Tengo muy bajo el intelecto. Cuestión. Vamos a seguir con su cuestión. Quiero hechizar a la gente. Objetos, ropa, guantes, más un instinto. Nice. Veamos qué hay por acá. Una escalera hecha de palés. Ah, usted es un poquito gigante, mister. Pepa.
Before you is a walrus
Dios, la
of a
cara de este
man
tipo, what the
seated
fuck?
behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you.
Es el contravisco este hombre.
With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. A typical power play. Wait for him to speak first. Show him you've got a backbone. The one good eye of this man fills you up without even flickering. The other, his lazy eye, is constantly moving like a goldfish in a tank, grotesquely magnified by his +6 glasses. For a moment, you don't know where to look. It is unbearably humid in the trailer. Beads of sweat slide down the man's forehead. At first, nothing happens. His face wears a wide and self-satisfied smile. Every now and then, he smacks his big lips. Like a general over his maps, he plots his moves. Judging by the way he's licking his chops, it's going to be a good one.
So...
La voz, ay Dios.
Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi, how nice that you found a moment to pay a visit to the Debarders Union. I'm Everard Clare, head of this little operation here. Please, have a seat.
The folding chair looks like a torture device. Extremely uncomfortable.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure.
No voy a sentarme, no va conmigo.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I too have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Damn, that's a nasty play. He's got you, a titan of volition, in a fork. Guess you just have to sit or leave.
Marcharme. ¿No puedo pasar por ahí? Oh, no me deje. Fine.
Mr. Dubois, I hope time is on your side this time. Please, take a seat. Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out. He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense.
Ooh,
it should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
¿Puedes sacarte? ¿Qué es eso? Recoger el cheque cómico inteligente. ¿Qué es eso? Para coger... Voy a cagarlo sin
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No.
No, estoy bien, mostré.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager. But, sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you,
What?
Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
¿Cómo sabe que premiarme? No estoy preocupado, puedo encargarme de ello. Agradecería cualquier ayuda que pudiera proporcionarme. ¿Cómo sabe que pedirle?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Mantén la calma.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
No, no estoy a punto de llorar. Intenta mantener la calma. Y que los hombres también lloran. Los hombres también lloran.
You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do, don't cry. You'll think you're disgusting.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
Chasquero en tu cara, por estás diciéndote por la silla como tu gelatina. No es Harry que deja que te metas en un lugar seguro.
While Everard is distracted by your odd behavior, the lieutenant's eyes are mapping everything around you. The folder, desk, papers on the wall.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Nada, estoy perfectamente, señor Dubois. Sí, hombre, estoy de puta madre con Dios de suerte. Ay, Dios. Sí, hombre, estoy de puta madre con Dios de suerte.
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. I saw it from my window. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard? Don't worry, Harry. Between you and me, I'm not a huge fan of his race thing, but the Union did not get where we are today by frowning on eccentricity. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is... I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out.
Don't trust him. For all you know, Dubois might be his name. You need to confirm this.
I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder. Everard's large hands are covering the folder, but the look on his face says, I know everything about you, Harry.
Oh, Harry. Oh, wow. This is really something.
I'm sure it's not that bad. At worst, he has an old RCM folder, and I very much doubt even that.
So how about it, Harry? You need assistance, I presume? It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange.
No, I'm really not. You are Harry. Sure, okay. You're Harold. Harmon. Haroldamus? But that's not what the record says. The record says Harry Dubois, a real man's name. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can.
¿Sabes dónde vivo?
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay.
¿Sabes algo de mi familia? Tengo mujer, hijos.
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
Yo creo que existiera un padre maravilloso.
Well, yes. I'm sure you're going to make one little boy or a girl very happy and proud one day, Harry.
¿Qué clase de policía pone que soy?
Harry, you're not simply a cop, you're a star. A bright shining star in the drab law enforcement sky, outshining all other stars. You're a superstar.
Eso es lo que me gusta de ti, Brad, me conoces.
Of course I do, Harry. And I'm gonna help you shine. I'm gonna put you on all the big stages. Your name in giant neon letters. Harry Dubois.
The giant neon sign reading Harry Dubois, hanging from the Cavalson crane, can be seen all the way to Jamrock. Somewhere in Mirova, a beautiful woman sees the bright glow on the horizon and says to herself, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have left him."
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry. Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia. You wanted something from me. Let's hear it, Harry.
Ah, no, esto ya está.
Of course, Harry, of course. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone.
Abuelas.
Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
¿Quiero el arma?
I don't care about my gun. I love it, Harry. Wish I could be like that, but I can't. I have a responsibility to this community. I can't have a loaded gun out in the street.
The officer is exaggerating. Of course we care about the missing firearm, and we are actively looking for it as well.
The lieutenant is concerned about the lost gun and feels that the fact you haven't prioritized looking for it is unfortunate, if inevitable, and doesn't put the RCM in a good light.
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. Looks like we have a friendly gun-finding competition on our hands. Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help, like I'm helping you with your lost gun. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
He abierto unas cuantas puertas a lo largo de mi vida. Me tengo que sentir invención tuya, ¿verdad? Kim, ¿lo somos un hombre todo?
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you. He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally owe no ones. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you. Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
Vale, me encargaré de ella.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew. There are so many moving parts in my operation, I can't keep track of them all. You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me. Just one thing. If you can, make it even shadier.
Okay.
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. So cool. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Sí, así soy yo. Últimamente he estado despidiendo mucho este.
Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Baye, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera, lights.
Acción.
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Superestrella más o menos. ¿Por qué no me deja interiorizarlo? ¿Por qué no me deja desbloquear la ranura? ¿Cómo hago para desbloquear más espacio? Pero no me deja desbloquear, ¿en serio? quiero, no sé cómo se hace entonces. Con los puntos de habilidad puedo desbloquear la otra mierda entonces. Ok. Let's get out of here. Salimos de aquí.
Before the cargo container. Its drawer has... The file cabinet stands steady. The drawer slides.
Salgamos de aquí. Este beso sigue dormido. A ver. Hola, Víctor.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamic. True. I said nothing about our personal dynamic. That has altered. A little.
He means very little.
Y se pija, boludo. No seas cago. Acepta la realidad.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Es una utopía obrera.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Ebro dice que tiene 7 llaves.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
Por lo visto, la guardia de no sé qué comadre.
Oh, say no more. I got you. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
Yo solo he oído algo de una comadre que no precisamente lo del autóctono polar, ¿sabes a lo que me refiero? No lo hablo por mí, sino por todos los trabajadores del mundo. Soy un optimista, he visto una pérdida y he aprovechado. No lo hablo por mí, sino por todos los trabajadores del mundo.
I knew this man was a commie. And it's a good thing you're doing too. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess. I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
Who he is, and what they're fighting for? This is interesting.
We're negotiating our share. Aye. This stuff, they already covered. The wolf always wants more. I like wars. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman. I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish. He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
Not you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door.
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't. Then how can anything ever be mine? But that's okay. We don't have to agree. The prairie is wide enough for all of us. Sure. I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide. Yet it feels as if he could, effortlessly, go even wider, if need be. An endless torrent of time.
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
El puerto es el principal punto de sospecha. En tu opinión, ¿dirías que los estibadores están involucrados en el asesinato?
What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course. Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
¿Qué quiere decir?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts. I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He means a more violent faction could easily take care of such a thing.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Me cae bien este tipo.
Hey. Psst.
¿Quién, yo?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Pues yo creo que todos debemos dejar de construir el amor. A mí de la forma medio de fabulación. A mí de la forma medio de fabulación, dos Juan.
Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted by human beings. Is that right? You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Hostia, eso es muy yo. Yo nunca he dicho eso. Puede que haya hablado alguna de esas cosas de izquierda, pero desde luego ninguna de esas. Yo nunca he dicho eso.
Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Of course you do. You are failure. You are communism. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped, shat on. While everyone else is out partying, having a callous laugh, you will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade.
Fuck it, a la manga y empezar a fundar el comunismo.
Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Espera, ¿qué? Pero todo el funcionamiento esto no lo había mencionado.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
No, me encanta más respirar aire pristino. Le mamo. Socioeconomía masoviana. Lástima que no puedo desbloquear espacios, así que no puedo poner ninguna idea nueva igual. Pero nada, no me lo veo. No, abajo dije. Era abajo.
Went native on the chief, huh? Those ballerina antics were reckless. Should have just punched him in the throat again.
Wrong. You did the right thing with Measurehead. The ballerina antics won you the fight.
Let's talk about our right to work.
Eso de que vas derecho te
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Hemos venido a luchar por nuestra causa. Los azules no suele gustar hacer mucha gracia a la gente que lucha por nosotros. Entonces sí. Vale, supongo que entonces.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
¿De qué clase de causa estamos hablando? Que yo sepa, aún no me he decidido por ningún bando. Sea como sea, tengo unas preguntas. ¿De qué clase estamos hablando?
Rights of people. Rights of workers. To have gainful employment. To make a salary. And feed their families.
Tengo algunas preguntas.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
¿Qué es una huelga?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people. Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
When the man moves around, you perceive some serious abs underneath his tight-fitting shirt. This man is in shape.
¿Cómo es que tú te has hecho un armario pero los otros esquiroles están tan flacos?
I work hard, and I would work even harder if the fuckers would let us work!
¿Y todos son esquiroles?
Honest men and women, with rights, to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
¿De dónde sos?
What's it to you?
Me quiere sonar tu cara de algo. Es siempre curiosidad a ver si puedo saber si puedo elaborar. Cuestión de rutina, es parte de investigación.
Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people.
Eso me ha quedado claro. Lo que me interesa es tu biografía.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
De portero donde frecuento muchos garitos, a veces conozco algunos. Claro, yo conozco unos cuantos sitios, más he escuchado de algunos, tal vez puede ser una ruta familiar. Jugando es lo mío, pero mi trabajo me ha llevado a algún que otro turburio. ¿En cuál trabajabas? Me hago el mentiroso. No, en general yo conozco unos cuantos sitios, me ha hecho algo.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
No me suena, ¿por qué me da que me estás mintiendo?
We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Oh.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
No habíamos acabado.
Things are busy enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
Tal vez.
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
¿Qué se supone que pretendés conseguir esa
We
cara?
were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
No podría forzar la
Main
entrada.
gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open and try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guards blocking the way to the access panel.
Ya lo
And I
hice.
don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Espera, dice cronométrico. No puedes con él, yo le metí una patada en la boca.
Yeah, I saw your ballerina moves up there. In a real fight, these acrobatics will get you killed faster than a bullet. You caught him off guard. That only happens once. Now he's alert, standing on a narrow bridge, and my men are tired and hungry.
Habéis probado de romper todos a
Why
uno.
don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge. We were promised work.
The physically impressive man tower has turned his attention back to the gates.
We were promised. Main gate's locked. And I don't mean the scrawny mess
¿Por qué no
punk
puedes
either.
pruebas hablar con ellos?
Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
It would be better for the neighborhood.
No! They will give up eventually.
Y acá.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Mira por la ventanilla.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
¿Qué clase de pegatinas tienes?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
¿Crees que este camión pertenece a un tipo duro?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
He was acting tough before. This probably scared him a bit. Who knows when it will come in handy? A slightly scared, racist lorry man.
Oh, moneditas. Give me the coins. No se puede encontrar la fucking bolsa para juntar todas las putas botellas que había visto hasta ahora. Coche extranjero bien conservado. ¿Qué va a hacer? Piso demasiado. ¿Qué acá? ¿Qué es esto? Monedas. Nice. ¿Y acá? ¿Una tumba? No, no es una tumba, es un cartel.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." Not a good track record of mental health in that family. What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. How would you know what this guy did many centuries ago? High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your memory trouble. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your... Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is gray like lead. No, this one is a monster in disguise. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why? I just told you why.
Voy a volver al hub en ese sentido. Y cortamos por ahí. Ya no voy a ir al frente. Para... Oh, fuck. Hay una... Voy a interactuar con esta cosa. A ver qué hay acá. Magnesio. Bien. Ahora sí volvamos a entrar.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. Wow. I didn't know you worked for the Union, sir. Anything else I can do for you?
Blow the whole thing on speed and gin right now. Speed and gin. Great combo. Ask some local dealers, maybe. The tear machine stand. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste pharmaceutics.
I don't really know what hypnogamma is. I guess. I don't really.
Nosifed heals +1 health. Dramine heals +3 health. Magnesium heals +1 morale. Hypnogamma heals +3 morale.
Okay, vamos a comprar
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Okay.
A colorful display.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
No, no voy a comprar eso.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants.
No, no, vamos a comprar el libro para el maldito pendejo.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Hay un montón de cagos. No, esto después lo veo. No puedo hacer. Uy, acá hay algo.
This Post-Levantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
Buzón de correo volar en campaña de buzón. Que te den buzón de mierda en una patada. Vamos a dar la patada.
There is a hollow, saddened ring as you kick the Levantorie mail collection box. It sounds betrayed, in disbelief even. Your toe has suffered damage. It hurts.
Cool. You really showed that mail collection box. I don't.
He must see the box as the weaker of the two, and you as a bully. Something he doesn't stand for. The mail collection box has no faith in your psychopathic manipulations. Bent metal, broken glass. Your path lies strewn with the broken forms of everyday objects. You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter.
Contempladme cosas y pierde toda la esperanza. Ay. What repite de anti-objeto, what the fuck. Vamos a volver a comprar. Ya me compré, así que vamos a comprar.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled.
Okay, here. I hope.
Ahí ya tengo margen. Vamos a comprar el libro al niñato este. Hola, niña.
Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
Oh, qué linda lo que dijo.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Oh yes, certainly. Another good sale.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space. Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vesper crime fiction. These books, furthermore, what's more, they not a single mention of all the stress. Shelves filled to the brim. Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are. Several maps have been attached. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps. They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
Several maps. The maps look old and faded. Your eye slowly. You move your hand toward the map attached to the board.
Perhaps not. It's against RCM policy to defraud small business owners.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial harp. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, Huron. It's somewhere to live, not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Faubourg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. You feel you're just west of Coal City, somewhere above Jamrock and close to Coal City. This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Ozon, Laurentide, Fas a la Mer, archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you. Radiating outwards from you, the suzerain Revachol. With a radius of 80 kilometers, still, the crown jewel of this Isola would be barely visible. You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier, and Vilmandu, on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Semina, lost little pearls of light, tiny fires in the dark. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth, connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods. But looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods. Gods of distance and outer dust.
Okay.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Indeed. Something about that book does seem to have spoken to you. Well, I hope it contains what you're looking for.
Shelves full of biographies of
a true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
Iba a comprarme el otro que es para mí. El otro es sobre mí. Creo que ya me alcanza.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular.
Necesito conseguir una fucking bolsa. Voy a darle al pendejo este la mierda ese. En el librito.
Have you come to make your offering to Kuno?
Es por ver que esto sea demasiado práctico para ti, Kuno, pero tal vez conozcas a alguien. Sostiene el libro.
Kuno doesn't fucking read. Fucking book shit. Fucks with your mind.
Oh, pendejo.
Kuno knows this four-eyed fuck. Totally hooked on the book. Can't get enough of this shit. Fucking sad, really. Kuno could make mad money off him. Exploit his disease.
Who are you talking about, Kuno?
A guy Kuno knows. Martin. From out of town. From Grad or some shit.
Entonces, ¿quieres el libro?
Fine. Kuno's gonna take it off your fat ass. At least he's gonna make some paper off this shit. Now what you want?
Ahora voy a hacer el crimen. Veas mucho jugar por aquí.
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it?
No, para. Cara partida. Quick save.
Several maps. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches slowly.
I'm sorry, officer. They're quite valuable. Yes, yes. Are you interested or not?
This large map is Ozon. In the north, radiating out you can. On Kai, lost the ocean connections that you have little eye. Perhaps they are gods. Gods, the north coast up to the east, Hudon. It's somewhere. You feel you're just. It's not really. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see.
Always good to be informed of.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks.
It is a bestseller.
Un bestseller, en serio lo llamo un bestseller.
This bookstore is not strictly.
Indeed. Well, I hope it contains.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people.
4.70, mira, por 40 centavos, ¿no?
The dented yellow mailbox. cover of this tattered paperback features the man from Yeondar, standing atop a pile of bloody corpses. His two Zweihanders are crossed over his massive chest in a dramatic X. Behind him rise the harsh, snow-capped peaks of his native Northlands. In bold red letters, the title, Yeondala Man, the man from Yeondal, unfurls like a banner. In the foreground, a nearly nude woman lies spread in supplication, her privates strategically covered by her flowing black hair. The back blurb reads, his latest adventure serves as the perfect introduction to the savage Yeondal saga. Meet man from Yeondal, his faithful blood brother, Tyribald, the noble Lord Hrothgar, and some of their most fearsome foes yet, for the Northlands. For Yeondal. Below, in smaller font, you see the parenthetical, adapted from Man from Yeondal and the Necromancer's Treasure. Man from Yeondal, Lord of Hrothgar, and Man from Yeondal, the Curse of Nacht Hera. The story opens in media res. The man from Yeondal and his band of northern reavers are in the bowels of an ancient temple. By nightfall, only the man from Yeondal and his blood brother, noble Tyribald, are left standing against the dead horde. It is an honor to die by your side, brother, Tyribald cries, as his battle axe beheads one of their reanimated comrades. 9, Tyribald. The man from Yeondal bellows over the army of flesh and bone. Have courage. And with deadly finesse, his twin blades scissor the necromancer's head from its body. A few chapters later, the man from Yeondal and Tyribald are in a completely different setting. High above, the Northmen find themselves in the court of the man from Yeondal extracts a high price from the desperate king. He asks land for the homeless desert pygmies living exiled in the kingdom's borderlands. You skip past a section in the center of the great as the vile ceremony. This is what you came for, isn't it? A climatic bloodletting where men are reduced to muscle and fury. Swiftly, the visitors toss off their cloaks and unsheathe glimmering northern steel. It's the man from Yeondal and his valiant blood brother. In an instant, the Nacht Hera summon a horde of gibbering orcs. When the din of battle settles, only the man from Yeondal and Tyribald remain standing. Exhausted and dripping with the entrails of their foes, the two Northmen confront the foul Nacht Hera. The man from Yeondal's he probably is, but you can't be sure, cause this one ends in a cliffhanger and a footnote saying, to be continued. Considering the sheer amount of different Yeondalaman books out there, it's very unlikely you're ever gonna find the sequel. The man from Yeondal stares at you on the...
Jesus Christ.
Have you come to make your Kuno knows that.
Who are you talking?
A guy Kuno knows. Fine. Kuno's gonna take it off your fat ass. At least he's gonna make some paper off this shit. Now what you want?
He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too. This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful.
Kuno, seguro que has visto de todo mientras estabas tirando aquí piedad. ¿Qué haces yo la me te conoces?
Fuck no!
What, Kuno? They've almost made you a snitch now?
Ease off, see? Kuno always takes the bullet over the hammer. Shitload pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno!
If I were to want to waste my time, which I do not, I would ask them who he is, how he got there, and the usual.
You have no idea what the usual is. Just ask whatever comes to mind.
Kuno's fuck imp. Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
End of conversation. Very strong. You should be this stoic.
Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno? Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional. I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Kuno didn't smoke the gimp, if that's what you meant. Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it? No, it's not fucking Kuno's. It's ancient. Look at it.
He thinks you're fucking fool, Kuno. He says you climb the ladder up to your magic tree house.
Get the fuck out of here, pig. Kuno doesn't have a magic tree house. Don't know. Kipta's gardener used to work there. Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno. Shh. Look it up in the library. Kuno's not a fucking dictionary. Fucking small brain. Kuno means the gardener, alright? Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit. That's just some shit roofing gimps left behind, lazy dinks.
There it is. That strange feeling again. As if there was more than meets the eye about that pile of roofing material. We are way beyond normal already. We are in the star chamber.
Huh? I have no idea what you just said.
Are you having a seizure in Kuno's yard now?
No puedes ocultarlo, veo sin ver con mi ojo interno. Eso dice, pero yo vi más allá del velo. Sí, sí, se lo dejaron unas putitas. ¿Esas putitas no serían sordas? Eso dice, pero yo ya vi más allá del velo.
The fucking well! The fuck are you talking about? Ask me a normal question, pig!
They're trying to make you feel stupid, Kuno!
You glance again at the roofing material in front of the shack. Yes.
That's just some shit.
There it is. That strange.
In her eye! Fuck are you talking about? Ask me a normal question, pig!
They're trying to make you...
You glance again at the roofing material.
That's just some shit.
There it is. That strange.
The fuck are you talking about? Kuno doesn't know what handed gimps they wear.
Trying to get you to talk gimp, Kuno. Don't talk.
We are way beyond...
Are you having a seizure in Kuno's yard now? The fucking...
They're trying to make you...
You glance again at the roofing...
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Yeah, like a fucking volcano. Yeah. Fucking pathetic.
You were lucky you didn't die there.
¿Tienes algún consejo para mí? Lo digo porque me parece que tú lo aguantas sin problema.
Yeah. Kuno's got some advice for you. What are you? Like 80, right? Maybe you should stop embarrassing yourself in front of a fucking kid. Kuno doesn't fucking care.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Escucha, una cosa, llevo un par de veces por culpa del cadena y me preguntaban por qué a ti no te parece afectar.
Stay away from me, pig! You don't want to see what happens when you corner me. I'll die before I squeal, pig.
There he still is, looking right through you, with his... This trash container is locked. The sliding lid, there's something in there. Not necessarily connected to the case, but still. Well, it is a container. Maybe you're prioritizing it.
Trash, food waste from the cafeteria. They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence too. We could try using a pry bar. The one you took from my motor carriage, or...
Did someone say pry bar? Pry bar, pry bar. Your palms yearn its cold touch, to grasp it once more, as you've done so many times.
We might want to ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one. And he also has information.
Ask the manager? Bullshit. Go straight for the pry bar and pry this baby wide open. Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar under the lid, but it just isn't bending. What is this? Your triceps ache for the metal to bend, but it resists. This calls for a potent curse to help break its resistance. Utter the power words.
The quality of metal is not the problem.
He's enjoying your little failure. He finds it amusing. There's a creaking sound as the pry bar slips under the lid. You hang from it like a moron, huffing and puffing. Clearly the technique is wrong, but nothing else comes to mind. Unsatisfying, hurtful. You hear a ringing sound, but not quite hollow. The can seems to be full of itself. Content, happy you failed. This snickering trash container is having a grand...
Let's ask the manager for the key. This is clearly not working. You are. The pry bar is quite satisfying and handy. But you are just not good enough at prying. We should get the keys.
Can I help you? Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rat.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
Y si te dijera que soy un dirigente o que pronto lo seré y tendré que rebuscar la otra, me dejaría fuera a mí también.
Yes.
Sir,
I'm sorry the RCM is having financial trouble, but it's not this establishment's problem.
¿No te parece problema mantener las obras por el alcance de los
Callous? What are you, Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The Whirling in Rags is not... What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please. Yes, have you got it? A lot. For the room and broken window, 100 real. Like what? I was rarely enjoying talking about the money you owe me. Wait, what? But what about the bird? Yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing the morning she left.
No lo rompió, ya fui yo. Lo lancé contra la pared.
You broke the skewer!
I assure you it was him.
It's as if he can't decide whether to be angry or relieved that it was you. Again.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer? I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
That bird ain't no symbol of hope. It's a menace and a traitor.
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me?
Dijo que eres un buen tipo, pero también su jefe es que venga, tío, la jerarquía negra con la cabeza. Dijo que se sintió halagada, pero que fue mal momento.
Really? I should give her a call then. Thanks, I guess. Was there anything else you wanted, or...
Or can you give him a moment? Somehow you realize this is not going to net you any professional discounts. Already he's reverting back to defensive.
Me gustaría hablarte de algo que he visto en el
What
Googling.
thing?
Visto un canal que decía que como está asociado para el sindicato.
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
He hates the union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even men on strike.
Glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Para. Son más de 16. El letrero dice, apretó 16. ¿Por qué no hay nada en el comedor?
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere. Or laying low after the, you know, lynching.
Whatever he may feel about you, he can't miss the opportunity to throw you a look of what he assumes is shared understanding. Go with it.
Yeah. The union guys think they're untouchable. They probably fucking killed that guy or something, and now think they can hide out till it all blows over, and it's fair weather again in Martinez.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Another thing. Great. Yes. Absolutely out.
You wait and see, Cafeteria. Absolutely in the question. First we find a...
No, ¿para qué es esto? Entonces están secando con el pin de químicos. Joder, gracias. Tengo una especie de pollo y tomate. ¿Qué hay acá?
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? It is quite pretty. I suppose we could look into it as a side investigation.
Sí, como una investigación secundaria. No, como una super investigación. La puerta de investigación estéril.
If you say so, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not budge. A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Goranci and Kubek. It must be his name. Goranci. Goranci Kubek. Sounds representative.
Realmente me insultó. Oh, Borracho, tengo que hacer unas preguntas.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
¿Sabe qué hay detrás de la puerta?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that.
Le dijo que eres amigo mañana, ¿verdad?
The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends?
Que lleva este Borracho que está cocinando.
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak.
Ah, sí.
Borscht need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Vodka Borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself!
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Sí, dale caña al vodka.
He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew.
¿Puedes tomar un poco de brebaje?
He smiles and nods enthusiastically, and, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you.
Tiene un shot impresionante.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots.
Siga así, machote. A ver, cuchillo esta. ¿Puedo ganarme un cuchillo acá? Ah, no. Salud. Cool. Voy a preguntar al menso este por la cosa.
Can I help you?
Ok, no tengo nada ahí. Mírate las manos, ve lo magulladas que están. ¿Ves todas esas pequeñas cicatrices? Son la prueba A. El mundo material te retiene. Contenedores, buzones, puertas, sillas, todos esos son testimonios y siempre lo han sido. Los mismísimos átomos están del ajo. Forman parte de la conspiración, pues moldeando formas y constructuras que detestas. Eres energía atrapada en un cuerpo. Eres un espíritu atrapado en la materia. ¡Libérate! Dale una paliza a esa farola. Que sepa el asco que dan los objetos. Superestrella. A ver, dejemos las cosas claras. Nadie se te raga de que seas una superestrella de verdad. Al menos no en cuanto a ser un imán para las webs y la cocaína. Es de las voces teatrales que te infectaron la hepatitis C. No eres Guillaume Lemillion y no tampoco eres David Hughes. Eres una superestrella metafórica. Aportas esa autenticidad y pasión propias del rock and roll a un sector laboral que la gente no esperaría o no querría encontrársela. Un sector al que según algunos dichas cualidades no pertenecen. La conservación del orden público. Juegos que sean objetos suena divertido. Voy a ponerme eso. Puedo poner así en el pasar. Está en un cachito corto igual.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened. Still, nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick... He doesn't like where this is going. You should punch a fucking hole in it.
Hey, what is your problem?
That felt good. Everyone is a whore. Now punch a hole in the door. Don't. Everyone is a whore? What does that even mean? Breathe in and walk away. You hear the murmur of blood in your ears. Your back slowly relaxes when you breathe out. That's one lucky... You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it. Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer, the gnome of Jeroma? You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub, still smoldering deliciously. How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that. A carton. Make sure they're all healthy and able-bodied.
The idea seems to make your neck expand. Suddenly, the garish tie feels very snug.
Or you could not do that. No one is making you. Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now. But find cigarettes, smoke them, blam. Instantly a cool renegade man. A mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostrils. Plus, smoking them gives massive bonuses.
Zapato verde para el pie derecho. What the fuck? ¿Estaban medias hasta ahora? ¿Estuve en medias todo este tiempo? ¿En serio? Wow. Increíble. No sabía, no me había dado cuenta que estaba descalzo. Acá está haciendo estos zapatos.
There they both are. Two identical shoes. Both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin. Reunited on your feet. Good. They're balanced. Comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now.
No lo puedo creer, no sé que no tenía zapatos puestos.
The fan stands still. The switch must be broken, because nothing happens.
Aww.
The air, the lights are off again. Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore.
Aquí es donde ocurre la magia.
And by that you mean crimes against humanity?
Aquí desafía la moral burguesa, desafía muy duro.
I have no idea what that means.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
Okay, váyanse a dormir ahí. Okay,
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off. Hot water sprays from the base, and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the outline of a man. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it. Behold.
Ay, miren qué bello que soy. Al fin tengo un character portrait, es porque nunca había visto en el fucking espejo.
You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
¿Pero esto qué? ¿Por qué es una especie de superestrella o algo así? Vea que soy una superestrella.
It appears you're also dead. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why?
Creo que podría saberse que soy una superestrella.
Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself.
No, esto es lo que hace la superestrella, sí.
You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face, and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
Superestrellato. Yo creo que se supone que hace ser sugerente. Mucho que me temo que sacar mi cara de Don Juan. Eso no me quedó Don Juan. Superestrellato.
You should check yourself for a pulse, superstar. From here it looks like a cadaverous spasm. You find no sign of life on your swollen neck. However, putting your hand on your chest reveals an irregular heartbeat. You appear to be alive, for now. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place, somewhere in the past. That's all you know, for now. It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary motor cortex. It would take a minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops. Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it. Still not happening. It won't come off that easy.
Ah, la camisa. Más o menos abstracción, más o menos cuestión. Una técnica que hace intenciones. No es agradable. Forma física. Este es mi look. O sea, técnicamente este es el look canon. Ah. Igual de bueno. Ah, esta puerta. ¿A dónde me lleva? Se mueve con punta, ¿no? ¿Qué pasa?
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie? She is appraising you scientifically, the way she would an exceptional zoological specimen. It's not like
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. But dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married besides.
In another time and place, she might have flirted back. But that ship sailed long ago.
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
If she could, this woman would feed and clothe you and every other sad, lost person on this earth. You've got guns of steel and a chiseled jaw somewhere under the bloated alcohol layer. Maybe she'd like to sponsor you.
Tocar la fibra sensible. Comprende el idioma de
Your deportment remains dignified as you shed a single manly tear.
No es fácil pedirle esto a nadie, pero estoy al límite. Si pudiera darme algo de dinero me ayudaría mucho.
Sweetie, I only have a few cents on me, but I could give you this to pawn. Just to tide you over.
Oh, qué buena onda.
Wonderful. He has a pin.
The pin is round and slightly tarnished. 3 sailboats in bas-relief with the sun hovering over the water behind them. A chipped green banner at the bottom reads, San Baptiste, Summer 31, Dinghy Races.
Cross the plaza and follow the road along the coast. Down by the water, there'll be a shack nestled against an old stone facade. That's the pawn shop. An old friend of my husband's goes there often. He says the owner is quite helpful.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking to Roy.
It's easy. You bring a valuable item to a pawnbroker, who then gives you money for it. You can get it back later for a slightly larger sum if it hasn't been sold, but you never end up doing that anyway. You're quite welcome, dear. Oh, I'm perfectly all right. I'm more worried about you. What was that?
Era como si mi cuerpo tuviera voluntad propia. Correr con el torso estirado y la mano que esto era así. Lamento que haya tenido que presenciarlo.
Don't beat yourself up over it too much, dear. People do strange things when the old fight or flight kicks in. I'm just glad you weren't injured.
Así que en silla.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic. It means I can't use my legs. I was in an accident some years back, injured in the line of duty, as they say.
Estúpido. ¿Era usted alpinista? ¿Equilibrista? ¿Jugadora de rugby? ¿Era usted alpinista?
Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak. I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. I hope not. Although the work you are doing for all of us is quite dangerous.
Towering over her in your insignia, you make her feel safe.
Fijo que no está tan mal pasar el gato en la silla, jugar al pinball.
Actually, this machine is broken.
What? Ah, la del pinball que está ahí, claro. Me disculpo, soy un pelotudo. Lo siento, siempre me duele en la silla de ruedas. Gracias por aclararlo, sigamos. No, vamos a disculparnos.
That's quite alright. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
There is no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago.
I hope you were able to pawn that old trinket. Of course, dear. I just wish I could have done more. Whatever do you mean?
Quiero que sea mi compañía sobre la en la lucha contra el crimen ligado con fiambres, empates, acciones, atrapando atención en serio. Pasa una solución de aquello, me muero con un pitillo. Nada, pensaba que era una canción. Wanna roll with me? Ah. Quiero que sea mi compañía sobre la
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Okay, por supuesto, olvida que te tengo a ti.
Yes, and it seems to me that you do well to stick close to him. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law, someone you can lean on, and, sweetie, you are looking unsteady. And even if he weren't there, I don't think you'd have much use for me.
¿Por qué? Tres cabezas mejor que son. Tres cabezas son mejor que dos.
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time.
Sí se da cuenta, pero no sé ni quién soy, ni dónde estoy, ni qué es nada.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
Oh my. You know where we are, right? Now. We are live in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, and the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
Todo lo que sé que nos acercamos al final de los tiempos. Sí, normal, son 40 y mucho lo que tengo, o 50. Todo lo que sé que nos acercamos al final de los tiempos.
Perhaps, dear. Perhaps. But for now, it's just the spring of 51.
She is perturbed by your not knowing what year it is, but not by your mention of the apocalypse. It must be the end times. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in the outside. The melting snow seeps into the cracks in the walls and the cobblestone streets, all the way down into the sewers. Above ground, the first Maybells blossom. You can feel it, a great cold. Then the shiver passes.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
¿Algún tipo de democracia? Me gustaría pensar que es la dictadura del proletariado, pero algo me dice que no es así. Nuestros líderes son feroces guerreros que utilizan las llamadas en corcel y la civilización tiembla a nuestro paso. Nos gobiernan máquinas inteligentes que realizan cálculos para terminar el mercado más libre. Todo el mundo que quiere triunfar y emprender como si fueran unos visionarios del copón. Las radios se usan para controlar la mente de la gente y distorsionar nuestra percepción de la realidad, ocultando así nuestros verdaderos amos, los extranjeros y las mujeres. La policía, mismo con régimen policial. Ay, Dios. La civilización tiembla.
Oh, no. Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control, led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly not one who's horseback.
Of course. You've arrived at a weak world, where no one appreciates animal husbandry.
Si no hay gobierno como es que policías,
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
Defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. Of course, sweetie. I really don't know how to explain it better.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things?
Defeat, I'm afraid. It has something to do with everything.
I'm just a poor woman.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Tremble. The time is now. Taola.
¿Qué? ¿La hora de qué?
Time for the show. For Taola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself. The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. All life will scream.
Mi conciencia, mi instinto. Esto es por todas las mascarillas del fin del mundo que vienen soltando, ¿no?
Yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself.
¿Cómo puedo estar seguro que no se trata de una broma de algún tipo de mecanismo de defensa? Creo que el mundo acabará pronto.
The face of the woman fractures. There will be herd killing. We all become vapor.
What? El policía del apocalipsis. Amazing.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself.
De hecho, debería sí que está pensando en este momento. Parece que lo de ayer no ha ido muy bien. Ahora que lo necesito un reconjugado. Me encantaría que Garde me sirviera un lingotazo. He pensado en ello secreto todo el tiempo.
There he is, the old boy, the devil. You rascal, you. Let's celebrate right now by licking that stain off the counter. Do it. It'll be wild. Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window. Then to you, licking the tasty rum stain off the counter. Then out of the window again.
What are you doing?
Investigando.
We should move. A real drink would go well with those cigarettes you're looking for. That's a great combination.
Ay, Dios. Esto tiene que estar para ganar dinero. Realmente por eso. Ah, esto es pelotudo. Alright. We can move on. Bueno, por hoy ya está. Sigo con mis dudas de cuánto vale streamear este juego porque es más bien algo para leer. Por lo que tiene cosas cómicas, es muy... eso, es puro diálogo y no tiene mucho gameplay per se. Es más, yendo de un punto al otro, interactuando con la gente y tratando de, bueno, conseguir objetos. O sea, tiene su gameplay, pero no sé si es algo que vale la pena estar streameando así que seguramente lo continúe por mi cuenta. No sé si lo streamearé igual. Pero cool. Cool que... Pero bueno, ya. Vamos a irme a dormir, me voy a ir a dormir ya. Así que nos vemos la próxima. El jueves continúo con Doom, con Calito. Y no sé en el medio si haré algo el miércoles o algo por el estilo. Pero bueno, nos vemos. Bye.